I think we started the game well. We wanted better mobility, better speed of play. And I think that's what we got in the early stages of the game, to try and see whether we can create early chances. But as the half progressed, we started getting comfortable after scoring the goal. Started seeing more midfielders coming short in front of the opposition, which killed our potency in terms of being able to cause problems in between the lines and invite the next line. And that made our latter stages of the first half not to be as dangerous as they could have been. I think we started the second half quite well. Probably the best start of the second half this season, in my opinion, with a lot of triangulation, good tactical discipline, good rotation from the eights to create a hole for us to be able to find the tens. I think we were just unfortunate not to create a lot of good opportunities from that. But we wanted a result in this game, and we got the result. I think we must congratulate the players for giving their best. I think it was a good performance for many of the players that hardly start. Mali, the centre back, I think he played well. Musa played well. Letlaku played very well. Pizzo had a very good game. I took him out not because of the performance, but I was just scared because he was already on a yellow and I was worried what might happen, because I saw Letlaku being fouled in front of the officials without anything, and I said, let me make sure that we are safe.
Thank you, Coach. We'll take questions from the floor. We've got a press conference tomorrow, so we'll just take one round of questions. We can start. Okay.
Coach, congratulations on the victory for Tatsu from Hope Live Radio. Coach, I think you mentioned as well that you've made a number of changes in today's game. First of all, can you help us understand that, considering that not a few weeks ago that they actually beat Juladiola team as well?
The truth is I'm just trusting the process, because I'm the one who came up with this idea of trying to make sure that we keep our team as fresh as possible, so that we don't have tired legs when we get into games of consequence. And I trust the players that we have, and I believed they are good enough, in as much as we lost the match in Polokwane. But I just think that was one of the accidents that happen in football. I think that day was just one of those days where, even if we were to play the whole day, we were just not potent enough, we were just not mobile enough, we were not creative enough, we were not aggressive and adventurous enough. But that is unlike the team that we have had from the beginning of the season. I think we have a team that is more potent than that. And I trust all these players. That's why I'm prepared to take a bullet when it comes to giving these players a chance to play, because I believe it will help the team. We can't have so many good players and not play them, and only concentrate in one group of players. And when those players are injured or tired or whatever the case might be, then you've got a serious collapse in a very difficult stage of the season. I don't want that collapse. I want us to have a little bit more depth. It was nice to see Lebo playing as a 6 today. I think he played very well. It was nice to see Atur starting the game, Letlaku starting the game. Neo is coming back very strong, Divine. And that says to us, we're now giving ourselves options to be able to maneuver whenever the going gets tough, not to try and bring players that we have never given an opportunity before. So for me, that is very important. I know to many of you it is a risk, but the players we have at Sundowns are good enough. Whoever plays at Sundowns is good enough to help the team to win the league. And if he's not good enough to help the team to win the league, he should not be at Sundowns, because these players, if we are hoping they must help us to win the Champions League, and we are scared to play them in the league, then what are we trying to do? So personally, I always believe when you select a group of players that you think can help you throughout the season, you must also have trust in those players and not be fixed on a particular group of players, because ultimately when you need these players, they are not at the right state of mind, or they are not match ready because they have not had enough game time. And now I've got a nice problem of players that are all capable of raising their hand. Also very nice to see Erwin coming into the match and showing his quality, because he's been very unfortunate with injuries. And that for us as Sundowns, it's very important.
Good evening, Coach. Karabo Pasha, congratulations on the victory. Coach, you spoke about the club were having a very good game today. A trickier flick there, glorious at times as well. How do you protect him? Because, you don't want all these good performances, because in our league, the DDC, he'd be contender for man of the match in about 35-40 minutes. How do you protect him? Because it seems like Sundowns, you've excelled in doing that. Is it a case of, he goes to bed with Tim Bazwani, saying good night to him in the morning, it's Onyango, those personalities in and around him? How do you keep these young players so grounded here at Sundowns?
I think there's a lot that helps us. I think we've got far too many top players in the team, and that makes the youngsters not to sit in their laurels, because they know they still have to fight for a place. When Letlaku scores 2 goals today, he should be asking himself, now, does this mean I'm better than Lucas in that position? And surely when he looks at that, he will say, I still have a lot of work to do. And that grounds our players. And it's also very important to instill elements of humility within the group, because when people think they are special to a point of not respecting the rest of the group, it will always be very bad for their development. But fortunately, Letlaku and most of these youngsters that we have, Maseko, Mapena, Mali, Ntando. There's another young boy that you have not seen maybe. Ntando, of course, is a central midfielder. I'm also going to give him a chance very soon. I believe he's got what it takes to help in this process. And all these players must be taught the right values in life and make them understand that football is just a game. But as human beings, we've got responsibility to keep our feet on the ground, because we don't know what the future holds. So it's very important to respect, to have empathy, to compromise sometimes, to be tolerant, and not to always think about yourself. So I think these boys are grasping those values, and it will help them.
Next.
Coach, Enes from Kickoff. The first question, Coach, the young boy caused top performance. I was sitting with Matlats, and I said maybe might be the future Mabizela. I don't know if he's still agree with me. He looks very comfortable on the ball, good positioning. Maybe just share a little bit about him, and then also River. What's the latest about his injury?
Let me start from the negative one. River one is a serious injury. Probably 4 weeks out, if not more, ACL. He has to go for an operation, I think this coming week, but it's a bad one. We hope he will come back when we need him the most in the latter stages of the season. Mali, I have a lot of respect for that boy. I think he's got a lot to give. It was too much of a risk to many people to play him or to have him on the bench against Kaizer Chiefs when I don't have some of the established centre backs. But I believe he's got what it takes, and I was fortunate to work with Mbulelo when he was still probably nobody in the ABC Motsepe League. Yeah, and I know what he had. I think Mali, if there is anything short, probably would be personality, because Mabizela was a little bit arrogant and he believed in himself a lot. Mali is not as arrogant. He's a nice boy. Sometimes in this game, when you are too nice, you end up not really realizing your true potential. But I believe he's got a very bright future. He has developed over time, and when we played him in Austria against Mitrovic, because I put him in that game of Al Hilal, he dealt with him so well. And I was so impressed because I did it intentionally, because I wanted to plant a seed that in the latter stages of the Champions League, when we're playing against tall strikers that are going to be putting a lot of stress in him, how will he come out? And he came out very well. I was so impressed. The fact that he did not play up until now in the PSL is not because of anything. I just wanted him to have more minutes in the DDC. And he was starting almost every match in the DDC. He probably has had more than 90 minutes in a row, because I wanted him to gain momentum and match fitness. And I played him in the Champions League against Babane. He had an outstanding performance, and I believe he's got a lot to give us. By the end of this season, we will be talking a different story.
Good evening, Coach. Coach, I want to ask about Adam. He started for the first time in the league today, and he managed to get at least 2 assists. What can you say about his performance tonight, and what can we expect from him as time goes on?
I'm just excited that I think he's adapting well into the team, because he's a very good football player. He may not have scored up until now, but I believe there is a lot we can still get from him sometimes without getting goals. There is a higher potential of getting assists from him, because technically he's very sound. His concept of space is unbelievable. He identifies spaces very well. He creates space, and he exploits spaces, and he gets into spaces at the right moment, which makes him to be a player that has been in a situation that has got a chance in every match that he has played. Every match has always had a chance. He's always in an area where something could have happened. A bit unfortunate that he has not scored, but I think he's very close. I think he's on the right track.
We'll take the last 2 questions. Any fresh hands? Atankosi, then we'll call the rest.
Hi, Coach. Joseph from Eastern Port. Coach, just to touch back in terms of the rotation, in terms of that process, how important is it again to get the buy-in of the whole squad, everyone invested in knowing that they will get a chance to play, and again the coach trusts them enough to play them when those key games come towards the end of the Champions League, let's say, and also again with an eye for the Club World Cup to know that the whole squad is invested looking towards.
I think what is mainly important is being proactive as a leader, to make everybody aware of the journey that you are going to take prior to the journey starting, and making everybody aware of the process, what might happen, and the benefits of that, the disadvantages of that, but also making sure that everybody understands. You are not just putting it through their throats. Everybody understands that we are trying to make sure that we've got a fresh squad for longer, because every time when we go through towards the quarterfinals of the Champions League, by that time normally it's probably, we are a little bit fortunate this time around that by December we would have played probably 10 matches in the league, because normally when we go to the group stages we are already sitting on 15-20 matches on the league. Then the Champions League comes. At that time, if you did not rotate enough, you're already starting to have a lot of injuries. The legs are heavy, and the players are no longer what you know them to be. I remember even the quarterfinal we played against Petro at FNP. I was not excited with how the team looked. You come back to the quarterfinal we played against, if I'm not mistaken, Wydad. We were not looking very good. The quarterfinal we played against Yanga. We were also not very, very good. But fortunately we managed to scrape through. So it's very important that we are fresher when it comes to that stage of those games of consequence. And I think how we manage the team this year possibly will have big benefits when it comes to that time, because now I'm beginning to see the cohesion within the group, and now we all understand possibly what we have as a potential starting 11 within the group. All along we've been placing them around, just trying to make sure that we still win matches, but we are not yet at trying to create cohesion and all that, because we knew that will come at the right time when everybody is match fit and there's belief and confidence in everybody. Then it will be easier to start developing particular groups that can help you to win matches, and I think we are in that process now.
Coach, just a quick one. This is in relation to your response. It's a very important answer that you gave to my senior colleague Ernest, that Khoza lacks that personality. How do you instill that in him? Because I think, the big players in around the world, they pop out their cheeks, chest out, and that is character, that is personality. So with the talent that he has, how do you also supplement that with that personality? Because I think it can go much, much more further if he's got that personality.
I wouldn't say he doesn't have the right personality, but I think the personality is what he has, because his comfortability on the ball and playing as if he does not see opponents, already that for me it's a very good sign that he is not scared. But what he does not have is the arrogance. The arrogance that I know I'm the boss. He is a little bit submissive, that I will play when the coach gives me a chance, and if the coach does not give me a chance, I'm not going to be fighting anyone. I'm comfortable. And sometimes that personality may look good because you are a nice team player in the eyes of everybody, but the reality is that you are not breaking walls to make sure that your time is here. And I think that is probably what the boy does not have. I wouldn't say he's not, because he's a very confident player, sometimes overconfident, very confident, but there's a very thin line between being arrogant and being assertive. And I think he needs to grow to that level of being assertive, to know, no, I know we've got big players here, big defenders, experienced defenders, but I can be number one here. And I want to be number one here. And his performance starts to show that without saying much, but I believe if he can come out of his shell, he'll give us that. It's the same thing that I was complaining about with Letlaku in the previous match, that if you remember against Chiefs, he got a chance where he combined with Peter and he missed just outside the upright. Then immediately after that, he went to the side and he dribbled nicely, got beyond Yusuf Mart. But because I just missed a chance, I don't want to play my way, what I see at this current moment. Because I just missed a chance, maybe let me try to backheel this thing to Mutau. But why backheel? Because you're already beyond. And in that area of the pitch, he's probably one of the best players I've seen in terms of finishing when he's in the corner of the 18 area on the right channel. He's got the best finish. He has got some terrific goals from that position. So, but because in his mind, he still has to feel to be part of the group. He's not saying, excuse my language, fuck this, I'm doing this, I'm killing this ball to the far post. Whatever happens, happens. Even first half, if you can check, there are 3 situations where he got into the right position, but he was trying to pass because he was trying to be a nice guy. Then we had to call him and say, hey, we want you to play to your strength. If you are not here to try and score, then tell us so that you can play somebody else. Then immediately after that, he got an opportunity which I think was a little bit difficult for him. Then he killed it, far post. And that is his specialty. He is very good. He's probably one of the best players I've worked with in terms of finishing in that area. I can give you probably 10 goals that he has scored in training and in friendly matches from those positions, and very clinical. Hardly a miss in that area. So it takes a little bit of arrogance to say, I know I'm young, but I'm not going to be respecting you and passing you even when I think this is my time. I'm not saying you must be selfish, but you must have that little bit of belief and arrogance to say, if I miss, I miss. I will not be the first one to miss. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. I will not be the first one to make that mistake. And Mbulelo had that little bit more. That mentality of playing as if sometimes he does not say that he can make a mistake, because he believed, even if I make a mistake, 1 against 1, I will still take that ball back. You know, he had that confidence and that arrogance, or that assertiveness, you know.
Thank you, Coach. See you tomorrow, colleagues.
Thank you.